So today we're actually going to be talking about the renal system. It's actually one of the most interesting topics to me in chapter 2. Now, if anybody knows anything about the renal system, we know that the renal system is actually extremely important for our body. The renal system, it does include the kidneys, which are extremely important. It includes the bladder, the urethra, and the nephrons are actually the main functional component of the kidneys. Now, the renal system is in charge of eliminating the waste from the body, and it does control the level of electrons, and it metabolizes and controls the blood volume and the pressure, and it also regulates the blood pH. Now, the respiratory and the cardiovascular systems actually have certain functions that overlap the renal system's function, but the main important function of the renal system is to kind of excrete or kind of filter waste and excessive ions and are filtered out of the blood, right? That are actually combined with water and they leave the body in a form of urine. Now, a complex network of hormones, they control the renal system to maintain homeostasis. Now, the renal system, which is also another term of the urinary system, is a group of organs in the body that filters out excess fluids and some substances from the bloodstream. So just think about it this way. The renal system, its main important component are the kidneys, and the kidneys actually filter out all the waste that we kind of put into our body. So put it this way, we actually poison ourselves every day with what we eat and what we drink, and the renal system or the kidneys is actually in charge of removing that waste through urine, basically. And without the kidney, it's actually very difficult for the body to remove the poison or the food that we put into our body. So it's actually very important to kind of have those kidneys or the renal system, right? Now, the renal system does have 5 important functions, and many of the functions are actually kind of go side and side with the cardiovascular and the respiratory system. Now, we all know that the renal system is in charge of removing metabolized waste from the body, and it does regulate the electrolyte balance, such as the sodium, potassium, and calcium. Now, I kind of want to step away from those 5 main functions of the renal system, and I kind of want to discuss one of the main organs in the renal system, which are the kidneys. And I know I briefly went over how important the kidneys are, but the main function of the kidneys is actually to control the water balance in the body. And for somebody who doesn't have a functioning kidney, is actually only limited to about 32 ounces of liquids or fluids a day, which is actually not a lot compared to the amount of fluids that we intake. Now, the kidneys are actually important because just think of this example. If it was a very hot day and a person has been physically active and has, a little bit of urine they produce, the body will actually retain more water. On a cold day, on the other hand, when a person is relatively inactive or has consumed a great deal of water, the body will actually kind of output a little bit more urine to kind of prevent over dehydration, right? So that's the main important part of the kidneys, to kind of filter all that water and to remove the waste from the body. And it's extremely important for us, and that's why if you don't have a working kidney, you are actually placed on something called dialysis, which is extremely uncomfortable for most patients.